My name is Orlando, the founder of Choose the Change and author of Dead Man Walking, the true life stories of Orlando Salinas. You know, I wrote a book about my life, about how I was able to go from a loser to being a winner. By the way, Frank is in a new book. Frank, he's a comic. Frank is a comic, and he's one of our men that has been here.
My name is Frank Salazar. I started coming out to the Choose to Change Foundation 4 or 5 years ago. June 11, 2015, I walked into the doors of Choose to Change, messed up, twisted in the mind, like Orlando said. It was a Thursday, but in my mind it was Wednesday, and I came ready to go to church. I came ready to meet with God, and God had other plans. I came in, and they did a sinner's prayer, and we don't do a sinner's prayer in Choose to Change. We would say that in church. So it was everything lined up, everything happened the way it was supposed to be. But my life didn't just magically change overnight. I still went through problems. My wife had left me. And that time I was still contending, to get back with my wife, to see my kids again. I was living at home, but shortly after that, I moved out, and even that was short-lived. I went back home, but now I have my own place. Woo! I have access to my kids now. I did get divorced, but no one said life was going to be perfect. But like Orlando says, what is success to you? And there's the list here. Peace, joy, fulfillment. I have peace now. I was all messed up in the mind. Not that long ago, maybe a few months ago, I was starting to go through some depression, just battling through things. But it wasn't until I decided to, I'm gonna stop fighting this, and trying to do it on my own and give it to God. And also coming out to Choose to Change, Orlando, just encouraging us, giving us giving us the steps, the tools that we need, and just cry out to God. And God's been putting people in my path. I have friends now. Like up there's his friends. Like I have friends there that I can count on. I can call. I can just reach out and you just talk. One of my dreams was to draw, to do something with art, and I decided to focus my time during this time of COVID. I'm just going to use this time. I'm going to use this time of hardship, whatever's happening, to make something good of it. I now have a comic published in a book with other creators, and I just finished 2 more stories that are going to come out in a couple of months. So like I'm living my dream. I'm fulfilling my dream, and if it wasn't for God, for Orlando, Orlando encouraging me, my friends encouraging me, to not give up, I wouldn't have that. And also my health. I decided to make those little changes, developing new habits. I was, I think, roughly 250 when I came in 4 or 5 years ago. I was able to get down to 40. Now I'm at 220.
Come on, somebody.
The doctor had told me I had diabetes, and I don't know if you know about how they test it. Like if you're 6 and above, you have diabetes, but if you're 6, you still have diabetes, but you're okay, you can manage it. If you're above that, it's bad. I was at 8. I was able to get down to 6. Now I'm working on getting down lower than that, because I'm not gonna let my bad habits get me down. So I'm working hard on that. And I've talked about this before, but I don't think about it too often. But I had epilepsy as a kid, and I was taking a bunch of pills. I think from like 10 to 11 years old till age 35, until I said, I'm just gonna give it to God. I'm not gonna be afraid. You know, but that came with a lot of prayer, a lot of thought. It didn't just happen overnight. No one told me to get rid of my pills. I made that choice. I stopped taking them. And I haven't had the type of seizures that I used to get. You know, once in a while, I will admit this, I will get spasms, and I kind of have to take that in check. But it's nothing compared to what it was before. It will be like something would just grip me and twist me. And I know that was a lot of mindset, fear, just growing up with rejection, growing up with just, you know, people, you know, putting me down. And when, you know, started to exhibit epilepsy, not knowing what it was, and being scared, people calling me crazy, and letting that get to me. Yeah, so I'm not saying epilepsy is in the mind, but it's a real thing. But you do the steps, you put your faith in God, and you can overcome it. You know, yeah. But you know, that's what God did for me, and you know, I'm very proud to choose to change, and the church that we're in, to call it my home. God has blessed me. You know, like, you know, I'm able to see my kids. Blessed me with my own apartment, friends, mentors. You know, now I'm starting to pursue my dream of, you know, making comics and making money with my art. And if I had quit when I wanted to quit, that wouldn't happen. Because also I battled with suicide. You know, like a few months ago, you know, the depression was like kind of getting up with me, and I was thinking about suicide. But I know where to go to. I turned to God, and that's when God was like bringing people to me, and I was able to talk things out. And, just talking about it, like, it's a big pressure off of my shoulders. And I would have done that without people like Orlando, Pastor Roman's preaching, you know, Chaladia, you know, the people here, you know, and God, of course, and Jesus, is that miracle that He did in my life. So that's my story. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.